Perfect. All right, I show my screen is being shared. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, great.
Now, are you recording the session as well?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
So we've got our test account here that we've been using the last week or so. And to post it's going to be an ACR, and it's going to show up in the maintenance history, hopefully, once we're finished. It'll show down here, very similar to this one that I did yesterday to test this out. So we'll get started with that. It's going to be under the transmittal option, if you remember. And an ACR is basically a miscellaneous credit. And we want to say that this is going to go to the dues side of the account. So we select that. And now it's given us a choice of what category do we want to put it in. Do we want to put it in current billed, past due, late? We can apply the funds to any of these categories. So we'll kind of start with a fresh slate here. So say we have a $75 credit that we want to put in here, and we want to put it towards the maintenance fee. And it's fees that we just entered, a few days ago, so that would be under the current billed maintenance fees. If there are fees that have aged for a few weeks and they've rolled into the past due, then that $75 we'd want to put over here. So you probably want to look at the account to see where the current balances are, so you know where you'd like to apply the credit. So we can put it into past due. We can put it into current billed. If there's no balance on the account, the account's paid off, we're putting the credit in before we apply the charges. Then what we want to do is to put this into the unapplied cash up here. And remember,
basically prepaid. Okay.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Then you would put it in the unapplied. Okay.
So you're putting in the amount that they're paying, is that correct?
You're putting in the amount of the discount.
Okay, but say if there's a 2 years worth of dues totaling $700, okay, would you put a transaction on for the whole $700 and then do your discount and then apply your payment?
Yes, you put the $700 on as a regular charge, and then you would apply your discount and then enter the payment for the balance. Exactly.
Okay. And how does the system know when their next due date is? It automatically calculates that?
It's based on the frequency and the cycle that have been entered, that's captured in those fields.
Okay.
So now, Eric, storage would be done in the same fashion, correct?
If you want to credit the storage, exactly. You put it down here. And again, if it's a recent charge that's still in the storage current build, it would go here. If it's an older storage that you want to discount off, maybe from last year, it's probably going to be into the past due. So that's why we want to look and see exactly where our balances are here. So we can see,
right.
There's total due of $974.50, comprised of maintenance fees and $200 in late charges. So
right.
Now, if we're doing If we're doing this dues drive,
Have to.
would it be more beneficial to create a spreadsheet as all of the transmittals that we need to put on, all the discounts, and then the payments?
Sure. And if you remember from training, that's exactly what we did. There's two ways of doing almost everything. You can do those one at a time through the transmittals, whether it's the charge, that you're putting on one account at a time, or whether it's the ACR that you're putting on one account at a time. And then also remember that if you're doing a group of them, you can do it through the upload, where your ACR or your charges would be done with the bill charge upload, and your ACRs would be done through the transmittal uploads.
That's what we're gonna do, guys, okay? That's what we're gonna do. We'll make that spreadsheet a shared option, and you'll go in and enter how many years they're paying will be the total amount and the discount amount. And we'll just upload them once a day.
Going back to storage and, doing this special that we're doing for storage right now, when you put in a bill that they paid for storage, but then it's not billed, there's not really an unapplied non-cash for storage. Would we still put it in that storage fee column?
What I've been doing is, if they're paying for a year's worth of storage, you're putting on a transmittal, bill charges, for $540. That's $45 a month, okay? Then I'm giving them the discount, $140 under an ACR credit. And then you're gonna apply your payment of non-cash for $400.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
Okay? It's the same way that he's showing us how to do this, but I feel that the volume that we're gonna get for this dues thing, it's gonna be a much better idea for us to enter it in a spreadsheet and upload it every day, okay?
Okay.
Yep.
So for the posting people, now we know.
Right, and the spreadsheet, what it's really doing is it's a way to mass produce these individual ones. So it's the same concept, it's just much more efficient, but it's doing the same thing.
Okay.
So, we'll say, there's a $75 credit, and for the source code, you probably will want to choose one of these and hopefully, kind of stick with it. Maybe discount or rewards voucher, one of those two. That way, we can pull reports on those and show you, how much discount you've given, how successful the drive was, and so on.
We should definitely be using on the spreadsheet waiver of dues for this campaign, because I know that Jason and these guys are gonna wanna know how much, and if we just use a discount code for everything, then we won't know how it breaks out, right? Yep. Okay.
You could put in a transmittal code or a code as just dues drive discount.
Yeah, but it's dues, so I think that'll work.
But then a comment, to kind of help capture what you're doing, and then the submit, and we see our transmittal here. Then hopefully system will pick it up, process it. No, I think my security's not set up.
And they're just not.
That's why I did one yesterday. And it'll show here. It'll show with the ACR. It'll show with that source code that we entered. And then it'll also capture in the comments as well.
Okay. So everybody's got that. Good.
Here's the one that I entered yesterday here. And here's the one that errored out today that I entered.
So when it's errored out, you have to go in and re-put it back in once you get security?
Well, yeah, we have to, yeah, exactly. We have to find out, what was not in your security setting, update that, and then enter that one over again. So.
Okay.
Now, I did set you up for the transmittal report on I think it was on a daily basis. It will go out and give you the status of all your transmittals for that day. And so it's a really good place to go and see if you have any errors, and that allows you to catch them that way. So that's in your report folder. I think it's on the daily folder. So.
Okay, so creating the sale is an action code. Applying the discount is a transmittal, right?
Say that again?
Creating the sale, the initial sale,
It's under transmittals.
it's also
Bill
under
charge.
transmittals
Yep,
and
under
charges,
bill
okay, bill charges, okay.
Yeah, it's a bill charge. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'll just get copies.
And then so is the ACR.
So yeah, the bill charge is actually assessing the charge for whether it's 1 year or 2 years, however out into the future. And remember, when we do our bill charges, we have the ability to say, what year we're doing that for. So we have them out into the future. So if they pay, 3 years, the third one will be charge 2020, and fill in the information.
I didn't know that was in there.
Now, you'll have to choose whether you want to make that due now or actually make that due into 2020. So, those will be things that you have to kind of decide from a business decision.
Okay,
but yeah,
so
you definitely got it.
in that spreadsheet, the transaction date will be the transaction date, the due date will be the next due date.
So then, let's see. We wanted to talk about reversing NCPs. So I put a NCP on this loan yesterday, 133.91. Broke out principal interest, advanced the due date 1 month. So I thought we'd try to see if we can get this to reverse. So again, it's transmittal, and this is an ADB. And the ADB should be built to where it requires the date of original application. So we're saying that there's a 133.91 originally applied on 10/10. If we want to, put a source code on here other than transmittal, or if we want to put into the comments, returned and chargeback. And that was on the loan. So submit that. See if my security level will allow it to process. I don't think it will. I should have signed in under my tester. We'll do that real quick. That's why it didn't work. All right, yeah, that's why. Sorry about that. I should have thought of that. try this. Remove the ADB. I'm going to say it's the 153.91 from 110. This login should allow it to post. All right, perfect. Use the right login, it helps. Yeah, so now we can see our ADB, and remember, by putting the date of the original application, it knows to go out. It said I applied 1/11/09 to interest and 22/82 to principal with the original application. So that's how I'm reversing this ADB request. I advanced 1 month. I'm backing the due date up 1 month. So ideally, it should take out just as it put in. So, and it looks like this one did. So we can also see in the comments that it captured that note that we put on here, so we know exactly what the ADB was for. ADB advice dated today. It's reversing the transaction from 10/10. Was an outdoor adventure processed credit card returned as a chargeback. Do not honor. So, wow, we're under the right. No, go ahead.
I have another question. How can you see the accounts that you worked for a certain day? Say if you know you're looking for a member, but you don't have their account number, but you know you talked to them. Is there a way you can look at that?
Great question. If you are under the account lookup and this view date, and you say exactly that. I know that I was in the account and talked to the customer on Friday's date. Yesterday's date. And so it brought up all the accounts that I accessed yesterday. And then you can simply, choose it, and it'll load that account for you.
Thank you.
And so remember that account lookup, all of these features, you can select which one of these you'd like to use the most, and that's what's in your settings over here. That's what your account lookup means. So if you like that feature and use it a lot, you can set that as your default. So then every time you go in there, it automatically pops up that view date versus the phone number. Or if you like searching by name, you can set your name to be your default. So every time you go into it, it pops up in the name for you. So. But I thought now that we have the right login, we'll go back and do our ACR here. And this time it should post.
Or not?
Or not. Apparently there's some credit already existing, so we'll have to see. Oh, I'm in the wrong account. this account would have been better. This is your account. So when you have the right account and the right login, it will show up as that ACR, reducing the balance by 75, and then it gives us that source code, waiver of dues. So again, we can set up a report, whether you want to see that maybe weekly or monthly. You can say, give me all ACRs with the source code of WD. I want to see how much, we've written off for, the dues program that we're doing. So, and then we can also obviously see it in the comments. Here's that transmittal with the right login. So what other questions do we have that we can go over?
Let's go down the line here.
I'm good.
Lisa? Dawn? Janice?
When you go to email a member, how are we doing that? Because I've just been doing it from ODA.
Okay, how can we change the email, our email in there if it's wrong?
These?
No, our emails as a representative, because when I went to do that today, it's got an old email. So if you go to email this person right here.
Wait, how do you do it?
Yeah, no kidding.
Here?
Yeah.
It's under the settings.
Yeah, it's in there in a couple places, but it didn't stick. So go to settings.
Right.
I changed that because it was already pre-put in.
Save.
Yeah, and then there's another place that you have to go change it in the settings too. And I did that, but then when I went to send the email to test it, it was still showing the old email that apparently transferred over.
I don't know what the other email location is that you're talking about.
If you go to like your emailing somebody, like where the envelope was, back the screen on, let's see, like on a member's account. For instance, 298, if you go there, that's mine, and push that right there.
Show your face. Does that work?
It does, but mine happens to have a wrong, mine happens to have an old email in there.
This is going to link to whatever email program you're using on your side.
Right, mine's still using the Outlook, and I changed it in the settings and stuff, and like I said, it still wouldn't allow, it wouldn't go through because it was still showing the pre-programmed one.
Okay.
So you were unable to change your pre-programmed
Correct. So,
return
but it
email.
didn't give me like a not authorized, to change it, or security, I needed my supervisor. It didn't give me a notice like that.
Yeah, that's something that's going to be on your side with how your email is set up, because the only email that we have is under here in the settings. So
Okay, all right,
so that might be something, you know, that your IT may be able to, or that, you know, when any type of program goes to pull, you know, when it goes to pull your default email, that it's pulling the right place.
Email.
okay, I'll check there to see if I can change it, because I went through the email portion of it. All right.
Right.
Your question,
Are
Colin.
you done?
Mhm.
Okay. Late charge waivers. I know that there's a couple of different ways to do it. Is the preferred way under transmittals and late charge waiver? Or as opposed to reversing the charge?
It really depends on what you want to accomplish. If the late charge should never have been assessed and you want to remove that out of all the historical reporting, then it would be reversing the charge. If the late charge is legit and you're just doing a collection effort or a courtesy to the customer, then it would, you know, be more like the traditional waiver. So it depends on, you know, what you're hoping to accomplish.
Let's keep it like that, so that
Yeah.
we were able to track.
Keep track of.
Unless it was, we got the payment, nobody applied it, or, you know, something
Well,
like
that's
that.
why
That would
reversing
be
it.
that would be a
reversing.
reversal.
Okay,
Right.
perfect.
A credit it's just like now, LFC is an LFC, it's a liquid credit, it's goodwill.
Okay.
Anything, you know, anything else is gonna be assumed to be an
An
error.
error, like a, okay.
Okay. And then, if a member has a year's worth of dues billed for $492, but they want to change to monthly, is the preferred way of doing that, reversing that bill and creating a new one? Or, is that the way to do it? Because that's what we've been doing.
And then are you going to have to do that for every month then? And pick them
Well,
up
not
on
everyone.
on a monthly schedule?
Not every one of them wants to be on a monthly schedule. Some of them do, some of them, they don't. If they're billed annually, they want it quarterly. And we had always offered that ability to change it in the past. So I thought, if that's still an option, I just didn't know how to change the bill that had already been sent out.
Yeah, you would reverse it and redo it for the new frequency amounts. Exactly.
But they're
Okay.
always going to get a bill saying they're due for the month though, right?
If they wanna go monthly.
So they have the option to go quarterly or annually, because just like the letter says, you'll be getting a monthly statement. So I just assume that when they get a bill, so say they've been billed for the year, they paid October 1st for the year. So October 1st of 18, I figured that their bill was just gonna say for the month. I didn't know it was gonna say for the year. That's what I took from the letter, but we all know about the letter, so.
Eric, does the bills go out for the dues with, you must pay this now, but this is your balance?
Exactly. It'll have a minimum due, which will equal, 1/12, which is the minimum amount to keep them from being considered, past due. But it'll also reflect total amount. So if it's $1,200 for the year, your minimum will be $100, but your total would be $12. And then so they can pay anywhere between $100 and $12. If they pay $3, then they wouldn't get a monthly statement until that 4th month. If they pay $5, it would be the 6th month that they got a statement. So.
I assume.
But can you change it to where they're quarterly, so their minimum amount due is the 3 months?
Quarterly, yeah.
Not with the flexible, no.
Just leave it.
Instead of adjusting it
Just have
to
to
the
understand when
bills.
people say, hey, I'm not being billed quarterly, I'm being billed monthly, just tell them, Just pay 3 months, you
Right.
won't get a bill
That's
again
what I've
for
been
3
telling them.
months.
I just needed,
That's what I-
Right.
so we shouldn't even
But
be,
for the bills that are out there for 492, you want to change, because if they don't pay the whole
okay,
thing, they'll get
yeah,
late
okay,
fees.
I see that, okay, I
But
understand
for
now.
people that want to be billed quarterly or pay quarterly, fine,
Cool,
we'll
just
leave it.
Okay,
Right.
I just needed to understand that.
No, in the flex, Eric, if they're billed yearly, they'll still only get a bill every month that they're not paid through, correct?
Exactly, yes.
For that month fee, not for the 492, but for the 41.
They'll get a statement that says your minimum is this month amount, but here's also your total due for the rest of, your current 12-month cycle.
So you don't
But
have
like
to
you
change it.
said, well, 'cause no, they'll never get a bill saying they owe 492
They're gonna get a bill for
for
41.
41.
Okay, but the bills that are already
Already-
in there.
yeah, I
that's
can
what I'm
see
saying.
that.
Then we would want, if they want to change it, but going forward, we don't ever have to worry about it again.
Right.
Good.
Okay, yeah, that was confusing.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, I think that's it.
We good so far? Okay, do we need to talk to Eric about a couple things? Well, I'm kinda concerned we're getting towards the middle of the month. I have no way to look at, I wanna know where they're at with,
Yeah, I guess,
posting the payments and posting the charges and currency rates and,
yeah, any update, Eric, with regard to where we are with, the BITS reporting system or the daily downloads functionality?
Dawn sent a note saying that, things were voted, for the bids. So, so I still don't see it in there. I'll follow up with him. I'll give him a call as soon as we get done.
Okay, and then, I think it's under reports, the downloads piece.
Yeah, that would be tied with that same database
Okay.
that gets updated as well. So they'll
Okay.
be together when they come through.
but we're good for the billing on the 15th